Two people retire at the exact same age, same $500,000 saved, same withdrawal amount every year, and over the next 20 years, they even end up with the exact same average return on their investments. One of them runs out of money in their late 70s. The other one not only keeps their income going, their account balance actually grows. Same savings, same withdrawals, same average return. So, what happened? The answer has nothing to do with picking better investments. It has everything to do with timing. And if you're within a few years of retirement or already retired, this is one of the most important concepts you've probably never heard of. It's called sequence of returns risk. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it matters and what you can do about it. Today, we're talking about sequence of returns risk. Sequence of returns risk sounds technical, but it's actually simple once you see it in action. And it's especially important for anyone retiring in the next 5 to 10 years because this risk hits hardest right around retirement, not decades before or decades after. Let's break it down. Sequence of returns risk is this. The order in which you experience investment gains and losses matters more than the average return you get once you start taking withdrawals. Here's why that's confusing to most people. We're taught our whole lives to think in averages. If your portfolio averages 7% a year over 20 years, that sounds like a predictable, steady outcome. But averages hide the story. They don't tell you when the good years happened and when the bad years happened. While you're still working and adding money to your accounts, the order of returns doesn't matter much. You're contributing steadily. So a bad year early on barely affects you, and a bad year late in your career doesn't either, because you still have time to recover. But once you retire and start pulling money out, everything changes. Now you're not adding to the account, you're taking from it. And if a market downturn hits while you're withdrawing income, you're selling investments at a loss just to generate cash. That permanently shrinks the pool of money left to recover when the market eventually bounces back. It's not just bad luck in the moment, it's damage that follows you for the rest of retirement. Let's make this real with two example clients I'll call David and Carol. These are hypothetical, but the pattern is very real. David and Carol both retire with $500,000. They both withdraw the same amount every year to cover their living expenses. And over 20 years, they both average the exact same 7% annual return. Here's the difference. David retires right before a market downturn. His first few years of retirement include some rough years in the market. Carol retires into a stronger market. Her early years are good ones, and her downturn happens later, after her account has already grown. Now think about what's happening underneath the surface. David is withdrawing income during years when his account is losing value. Every withdrawal during a down year means he's selling more shares or more of his account to generate the same dollar amount. That leaves less money working for him when the market eventually recovers. Carol, on the other hand, is withdrawing income while her account is growing. Her withdrawals are a smaller percentage of a larger growing balance. By the time her downturn eventually arrives, later in retirement, her account has built up enough cushion to absorb it. Fast forward 20 years. David has run out of money years before Carol. Carol's account isn't just intact. In this example, it's actually larger than what she started with. Same starting balance, same withdrawals, same 7% average return over the full 20 years, completely different outcomes. That's the power and the danger of sequence of returns risk. The retirement red zone. This is the window where a market downturn does the most damage because you no longer have decades to recover and you're actively withdrawing income at the same time. Here's what makes this tricky. Most of us have spent our entire working lives being told to just stay invested and ride out the market. That advice makes sense while you're contributing to your accounts, but it becomes far riskier once you're relying on those same accounts for income. And here's the part nobody can control. Nobody, not you, not your advisor, not anyone on Wall Street, can predict which years will be the good ones and which will be the bad ones. That unpredictability is exactly why building a retirement income plan around an average return assumption can be dangerous. Averages are a math concept. Your actual retirement will happen in a specific, unpredictable order. The good news is this risk can be managed. You don't have to just hope you retire in a good year like Carol. Here are a few strategies people use to protect themselves. The first is building an income floor. This means covering your essential expenses, the things you absolutely must pay for, like housing, food, and healthcare, using guaranteed sources of income. That includes Social Security, any pension you may have, and tools like fixed indexed annuities. When your essential expenses are covered by guaranteed income, market downturns become far less threatening because you're not forced to sell investments at a loss just to pay your bills. The second is a bucket strategy, where you separate your money by when you'll need it. Short-term needs are kept out of market-exposed accounts, so a downturn doesn't force you to sell at the worst possible time. The third is simply being willing to adjust your withdrawal rate in down years if your income is coming from a market-based portfolio. Taking a little less through rough years can meaningfully extend how long your money lasts. One tool worth understanding here is a fixed indexed annuity, because the income it provides isn't tied to market performance the same way a portfolio withdrawal is. It can remove sequence of returns risk entirely from that portion of your retirement income. It won't be the right fit for every dollar or every person, but for the portion of your income covering essential expenses, it's worth knowing this option exists. Here's the big idea to remember from today. In retirement, it's not just what you earn on your money, it's when you earn it. The order of returns can make the difference between a retirement that runs smoothly and one that runs into trouble, even when the long-term average looks identical on paper. If you're not sure whether your own retirement income plan is exposed to this risk, get the free booklet called For Those Who Want to Prosper and Thrive in Retirement. Check out the link in the description box to get that information. If this video helped make things clearer, drop a comment and let me know. And subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This is Retirement Security Simplified, where we specialize in turning confusion into confidence, one conversation at a time.